Here we are, start sit decisions part 2, week number 3. Let's get this thing going. Yo, what's happening, everybody? It's Brian and Brennen here for Too Much Fantasy Football on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. How you doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
It's always good. I was hoping for bad, not hoping for bad, but like maybe a mix up here. It's decent today. It's all right. Give me, but it's just good. But I guess it's better than bad.
I mean, it's better than the Carolina Panthers situation.
Ooh, you mean it's not doing too good down there?
No.
No, no. I guess we might as well start off with that. It's start sit questions. Here we are. We've got the last 8 games, all your 4 o'clock games, your Sunday night football, your Monday night football, and of course, Brennan brought it up right there off the bat. Put the 3 minutes on the clock. Let's go. The Red Rifle returns. Panthers at the Raiders. 40-point over under. Vegas is favored by 5. What do you like about this game?
You know what? Actually, I like the Carolina Panthers. I think when Andy Dalton played last year, he threw for almost 280 yards in his game where Bryce Young was out for an injury. So I do like Deontay Johnson if you have him in a flex spot and you're curious about it. I know the Raiders have a decent defense, but I just feel like for PPR standards, he should at least see a healthy workload. Adam Thielen should see something. I don't know. I want to maybe pick him off of the waiver wire just to kind of gamble before it gets better. It seems like Andy Dalton's going to be playing for the near future. It sounds like Bryce Young's time starting is going to be over for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with Deontay Johnson. He's a flex-worthy pick in this situation. My gut tells me that chaos will just ensue, and Adam Thielen will end up with the 12 targets, 10 catches, the touch, just to add chaos to the situation. But yeah, Johnson feels pretty flex-worthy here in this situation. I even think Hubbard, right now the Raiders are letting up pretty well in the run game, so I think Hubbard is a decent play this week. Just, seeing how they should rely on the running game a little bit in this one. Andy Dalton, though, super flex. You willing to start him?
No, I just want to see what he does. I think Dave Canales is a really good coach, so he does seem to scheme up guys to be open. We saw, Adam Thielen being wide open, raising his hand, and Bryce Young just deciding to roll out and not step up. But I think he's worth picking up in dynasty leagues, super flex league. Maybe you can pick him up just as he's a starting quarterback, and those do sometimes wear to get thin. So I don't hate the pickup, but I'm not starting him.
Yeah, he had something like 58 passes last time, his last start in Carolina. It was insane. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something similar to that here. Raiders on the other side, handful of sortable pieces. Brock Bowers, tight end 1, or started as a tight end 1.
You're definitely starting him. I mean, he seems to be on the up and up, so I definitely would like him in my lineup.
Adams, we're playing there.
Yeah, pretty comfortably. Adams to be a good, solid, wide receiver 2. It's weird. Zamir White, his rushing attempts on betting apps are at 14.5. So that's the line where he's at. It's 14.5. So he should see some good workload. I don't know if you want to pivot elsewhere, but he should be getting at least a decent amount of touches.
In a positive game script, I think they should hold it pretty well here. Madison, I know people have picked him up. I've tried to do everything to avoid picking him up, but Minshew QB2 this week. If you're going to be playing him in a super flex league, I think this would be the week to do it.
I don't know if I'm on that side. I think this game could go really, really bad, or this could just be one of those weird games where Carolina somehow sneaks it out. I'm avoiding Gardner. I just think he's just his floor. He has no ceiling. It's just all floor for me.
I get that. Yeah. Usually that's. Hey, beggars can't be choosers sometimes in Superflex. I'm hurting right now.
Yeah.
Who you have winning this game?
I think the Raiders win, but I think Carolina does cover the spread.
I'd agree with that. I think it's going to be a lot closer than it should be.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Seahawks is our next game we have here. Oh, God. And a fun one. It's going to be 41.5 point over under. Seahawks are favored by 4.5 at this point, which the line's actually moved from 5 to 4.5, which is interesting because Tua is not playing, so I don't know what's moving it there. So I'll start with the Seahawks because it's way less depressing.
Yeah, it looks like Kenneth Walker's probably not going to play. He seems to be doubtful in that aspect. I saw he tried to run at practice or 50%, sprint, and it didn't look well. He was grabbing his oblique, which is what he's injured. So Looks like Charbonnet is going to definitely get the workload this week. DK, who had an amazing week last week, should definitely get the run. JSN should be in your lineup. Tyler Lockett's probably the only one that's questionable, maybe a flex play, but this could be one of those games where they're up by already so quickly, and this is, Charbonnet just running out the clock.
And he had 100% of running back touches last week. So if he gets the call again, I have all the confidence in the world in him. Just almost that RB1 upside. Like he had the workload of an RB1. I agree across the board on the wide receivers. Geno Smith, QB2. And just to throw out there, folks, where I live, they're doing an air show, so I'm going to try and edit it out in post. But the airplanes are wild today. They usually don't fly this close to my house, but it's been loud as loud. Kind of like the noise that. No, I can't make that joke. Tua's hurt. That's where we're going to put that. Tua's hurt. He's going to be out for a bit. He hit IR.
4
So
weeks
Skylar
in
Thompson. Oh, I know. It hurts me. It hurts me. It hurts me because these guys below are going to suffer. Devon Achane, you still have to start him.
I think Devon Achane will be fine. I think he'll get a ton of dump off. So I think for PPR standards, he'll be perfectly fine. You're going to see a healthy workload. For whatever reason, McDaniels has no problem just keeping him in the game, whether it's bad or good. So.
If anything, you just lessen your chance of him making it to the fantasy playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
He may be your workhorse to get you there, but he might not be available at that point. Jonnu Smith got a weird workload this past week as an outlet to Skylar Thompson. I know tight end's rough. I think he should be thrown out there as a flyer. Tyreek Hill, I can't tell anybody to bench him. Mike McDaniel's he's a smart guy. He's going to get the ball in Tyreek Hill's hands. So I feel like he's safe enough to still give you wide receiver 3 value plus some upside. Waddle, though. We got 30 seconds on the clock. Break it down.
He has no touchdowns, I think, with Skylar Thompson in like the 9 games he played or something like that. It's just like Jen Waddle seems to be the one that's going to really, really hurt here for whatever reason. I think him and Skylar Thompson aren't on the same page. So you still got to start him, though, for where you drafted him. It's pretty hard not to. He's probably your wide receiver 2 in most leagues. So. Yeah.
Are you willing to sell Waddle on pennies on the dollar just to get something viable at this point? Or are you going to hold tight?
No, I think like the only trade I could see is like JSN on the other side. Like I trade Waddle for JSN.
I don't know if anybody do that after that week that JSN had.
Exactly. That's what I would take. That's what I would do. So,
who you have winning this game?
I think the Seahawks win pretty comfortably. I think they cover the spread too.
I think it's safe to say that one as well. I'm going Seahawks as well. Lions at Cardinals. This is going to be a fun one. 51.5 point over under. Detroit's favored by 3. Cardinals looked way better in week 2 compared to week 1. The offense just wasn't humming like they were in week 2. I think that Kyler and company's a great start here. James Conner is a good RB2 option. Could fall in the end zone to give you RB1 numbers, but this Detroit
or fumble it and Trey McBride gets it.
Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt some fantasy owners last week.
I'm sure it did, or it made Trey McBride owners really, really happy.
Yeah. Trey McBride's still a start. Marvin Harrison's a start. I think Greg Dortch is startable in this option. The Lions aren't great against the slots position, so Greg Dortch might see himself a good amount of work. And if this Lions pass rush can really get after Kyler and put him in tough situations, he might be looking to dump it off to Dortch. So a flex position for me.
Yeah, I don't hate any of those starts. Lions side, I mean, Gibbs and Montgomery, it sounds like you really have to start them because no matter what, they're both getting healthy workloads. I think, would you say Jameer's been down for where you've drafted him so far?
I think so, because Monty's finished ahead of him in both weeks, and you got him, 3-4 rounds later?
Yeah. Are you starting Jared Goff this week too?
I'm okay not. He was supposed to be this hot late round quarterback with the great start to the season, a lot of these dome games, and Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr outplaying him. So I think you have way better options that are hitting the free agency right now.
Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield are playing a lot of quarterback. Let's be fair here. They're all playing like Patrick Mahomes and like.
But I guess I just mean like they're available on the waiver wire. So if you were to drop Goff, you could find a better replacement for him pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams. Is Jameson Williams locking your lineup now from here on out?
Until he gives me a reason not to. And I think I would need a couple bad weeks, back to back, because I mean, all wide receivers give you bad weeks. So even if he gives you a dud this week, I'm not concerned long term right now. I'm seeing him be used as a big part of the offense. His target share is great. What about you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I definitely like him as like my flex. I really, really like him as my flex option. It makes me feel a lot more confident. just because I just want to see it continue at this level where he's at. Let's talk about the tight end though, Sam Laporta. He's
Do we
been,
have to?
yeah, kind of. I mean, like, I don't know what to do. Like, you took him as probably the tight end one. You took him as the first tight end overall. So like, you have to keep him in your lineups. Like, but at some point, like, when do you start to panic? Like, where's your panic meter with him?
Fortunately, there may be a panic meter, but when you push that button, you're going to realize it's not plugged into anything. Like all you're doing is pushing a pointless button because what are you going to pivot to? Do you really want to pivot to Hunter Henry? Yeah, I like him as a great streamer, as a pickup option if you lost Njoku or something like that. But in all honesty, I'll take the upside of Laporta each and every week compared to, like every tight end except what, maybe 6 or 7. So,
Who gets more
you're going to
points
take
this week?
your. You said
Hunter
what?
Henry or Sam Laporta? Who gets more points this week? Hunter Henry or Sam Laporta?
I'm going to go Laporta just because of the game script. Hunter Henry is going against the Jets, who play I think they're number 2 against tight end so far this year. Oh, yeah. Give me Laporta. Who's
Who do
winning?
you have winning?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Lions.
Cardinals?
I'm gonna go Lions.
Cardinals cover. It's 3-point. I'm going to say at least they cover.
I'm gonna say the Lions cover the spread too.
Oh, no thanks. No thanks. Jared Goff's looking iffy, folks. Iffy, I say. I know. Look at me using these naughty words. Ugh. All right. Where are we going? We're going to Dallas. Do we have to? I'm just kidding, Dallas fans. I know that's all we have listening out there because there's so many of them. They like just come out of nowhere. Ravens at the Cowboys. 48-point over under. Baltimore's favored by just 1 point. Both these
Kind of
guys got to get it.
surprising.
I don't know. 0-2 Ravens.
I'm a little surprised. Yeah, and then it's in Dallas, correct?
I don't think that means a whole lot.
I mean,
That last home game they played.
yeah. I mean, but who predicted Derek Carr would score on every single position he has? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh no, that's not my hand. That's somebody else's. Definitely
We'll
wasn't
start
me.
with we'll start with the Ravens side. I mean, Lamar's in your lineup. Derrick Henry's in your lineup. Zay Flowers, he had a touchdown last week. He had some healthy work last week, and then Mark Andrews for sure in your lineup. The only question mark is Isaiah Likely. Are you starting him in your flex or is your tight end? Like,
I'm not flexing him. No, there's no reason that I feel to the point where I need to put him in another tight end. Like who's the other tight end that like you're refusing to pull out over him?
somehow you lucked out Brock Bowers. I don't know.
But even still, I'm trying to think of who I'd start him over. I'd start him over like Goddard, Ertz, Ferguson, Fryermuth. He's like right there with
Schultz.
Kyle Pitts. Yeah, Schultz for sure. Hunter Henry, he's about where Hunter Henry is for me. Just that like low end
Okay,
tight end one. I still think he has
gotcha.
upside. I see Zay Flowers closer to a wide receiver 3 than I do a wide receiver 2.
Got you. All right, and then on the Dallas side, I mean, Dak's in your lineup. I think he's down for a bounce back week. The only question marks on this team, I guess, it would be: which one are you starting? Are you starting Zeke or are you starting Dowdle?
I'm starting
I think,
Zeke, but I would probably advise people to take Dowdle. I've got them
yeah, I
both
think
as like an
didn't Dowdle like
RB3.
start out with like the more touches in the game, if I'm not mistaken, last week. Like he had more touches, but then he just got off script because they just got blew out of the water.
Hmm. Yeah, I think your upside is clearly with Dowdle, with the younger guy. He's not that much younger than Zeke, but like all in all, like the mileage and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah,
I'd probably take Zeke. He's just that bowling ball falls in the end zone more than he doesn't, and I just think that's where it's at. What
yeah.
about
You
you?
have obviously CD. I mean, I'm starting Dowdle more than I'm starting Zeke. I think Dowdle has just a little bit more of a more umph to him, in my opinion. And the wide receivers, obviously, it's CD. You have Brandon Cooks. Another name I want to throw is Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert's starting to get a little more run in this offense. He's someone I just monitor. A little bit younger guy. That's just someone I lean towards. Jake Ferguson, he's playing this week, right?
I haven't got all the reports out. We're recording this midday Thursday, so we're still waiting to hear a little bit more on the practice report. I'd be okay with playing either one of these guys. Shoemaker plugged in perfectly for
Hmm.
Ferguson. If it weren't for the name difference, the like snap share, target share was all like the same. Dak loves his tight
Okay,
end, so I'm
true.
I feel okay with either one of these guys.
All right. Who do you have winning?
Give me the Ravens, but that might be a little
I'm taking
biased.
I'm taking Dallas at home as an underdog. It's crazy.
There's no way Lamar and Harbaugh are going to start 0-3. I just refuse to believe it. I can't see it happening. Mike McCarthy starting 1-2. That sounds like something I can get behind. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Niners at the Rams, 43.5 point over under. San Francisco is favored by 7 in this game. It's really easy, right? You're starting McCaffrey. Oh, wait, no, he's not in this. Starting Debo. No, he's not. Whoa, who the hell is in this game? We're starting Jordan Mason and Kyron Williams. Both the running backs are pretty easy in this one. Purdy and Stafford, I see as pretty equal QB2s, kind of low-end QB2s at this point. And then give me some Ayuk magic. I'm really excited for some bounce back. I think he's had 6 targets or 6 catches over his first 2 games. That's some shit.
Yeah, supposedly he's like now ramped up to like almost in football season. I guess what Shanahan had said. Of course, when you miss all off season because of contract disputes, this was bound to happen. So Ayuk should get a healthy target share. Juwan Jennings was someone you could have picked up too. He's wide receiver 2 now with all that falling in. George Kittle definitely is your tight end 1. That's really about it for the San Francisco side. Are you starting Brock Purdy though in this game?
I'm going to try not to. In Superflex, I'm willing to, but I'm going to try not to.
Okay.
He's just
Even with the Rams having 11 players on IR and they can't designate all 11, only 7 can go.
I'd be okay with that, but this offensive line for San Francisco isn't great. Purdy's touchdown rate, he's only thrown 1 touchdown this season. He's usually up at 7% touchdown rate. It's 1.5% right now. It's absolutely horrible. He's being sacked at the highest rate right now. I mean, it doesn't drop back a whole lot, but it just doesn't feel like a great situation. I love Ayuk and Kittle. I think he's going to give them, enough to make them do well, but I don't know. Just doesn't get the sweatpants moving. You know what I mean?
You gotcha. On the Rams side, unfortunately, Stafford's going to be throwing to some stellar names like Cup and Puka. I'm just kidding, folks. Sorry. It's going to be Demarcus Robinson, Whittington, Tyler Johnson, and Tutu Atwell. So out of these 4, who are you more confident in starting?
The confident play is going to be Demarcus Robinson. He is a starter on this offense, even when Cup and Puka Nacua were there. They run a lot of 11 personnel, so he was on the field quite a bit. So he's definitely the confidence play. Jordan Whittington, I think that he's supposed to be playing the Cooper Kupp role. So maybe not necessarily a play I want to make this week, but as far as a speculative ad, I think he's the one with the highest upside for me. Rumor has it he could like breakfast. He may like eating early in the morning. We know Matt Stafford does. We know that there's a scientific connection when you get maple syrup and friends together.
Yeah,
my Canadian buddies tell me anyway. So yeah, I'm starting Robinson. The other 2 are just kind of, like I said, speculative ads. Parkinson, it hasn't worked out so far. It always could, but I don't know if it's gonna.
Yeah, I do like Tyler Johnson. I think he's going to get some good run here as well. It's all a coin flip between the 3. We really won't know until the end of the game. The upside's higher on Whittington. I'd also add you can drop Blake Corum. I think Rivers is getting more run than him. I think we both agree San Fran's winning and covering the spread.
Yes.
I know it's at LA, but LA is more of a San Francisco home game. Sorry.
And they're, like you said, they're missing offensive linemen, wide receivers. Just everybody's hurt in this game. So yeah.
Yes.
Should be an easy bounce back game for the Niners. Let's head to a little ATL, a little Atlanta action here. We got the Chiefs playing the Falcons. Yeah, 46.5. Kansas City winning by 3.5. Unless Kirk Cousins has something to do about that. Coming down, scoring at the end. God, that was so awesome. Come on, Kirk. Give me some Kyle Pitts magic.
Drake London taking off his helmet and then doing the gun show. And head coach had the greatest comment of all time. He was shooting T-shirt guns at the fans.
T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Raheem Morris for defending this guy.
He's got a future in PR, that's for sure.
He does. That is for sure. It's a hell of a comment. We'll start with the Chiefs side. You're starting Mahomes no matter what, even though he's been kind of unstellar for where you took him. The running back side, we just got word that Isaiah Pacheco, the timeline they said is 6 to 8 weeks, but the head coach came out today and said it's really unclear. So, if it comes to 8 weeks time and he's still not available, are you going to drop Isaiah Pacheco?
It's going to get bad. I think we have 3 or 4 really bad IR or bye weeks, so IRs are filling up quickly. I'd be okay with it because even when he comes back, it's going to take a few weeks to ramp him up. So that might be fantasy playoffs, or you want to put a question mark at the fantasy playoffs. I don't know. I might need to look at the schedule just to double check, but it's going to be it'll be a conversation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then other running backs. I mean, I'm a big Steele guy. I think Steele's gonna get the run. I think he's gonna get it first, and I think P Ryan might come in on third down plays. Cream Hunt. I know he got signed, but it's not even clear if he'll be active for this game. You're trying to get him acclimated with everything. Like, just let everybody know, like, he's 29 years old. He couldn't beat out Jerome Ford for the job. Samaje P Ryan was cut and then picked up. So, like, to me, it just screams to me Steele is going to be the guy. Like,
I think Steele has the highest upside out of the group. P. Ryan seems like he could give us something that, Jerick McKinnon-esque that we were getting the last few
PPR
years.
standard, yeah.
Yeah, a lot higher in the PPR realm. Both are going to be risky plays, but those are the two that I'm willing to. Like you said, Hunt, I'm going to add if I can, but I'm not breaking the bank. Fab, it's like 5% or less.
Yeah.
These wide receivers, though, Rice, I'm starting. Worthy, I'm starting.
Yep.
Kelsey, I'm starting.
You have no choice to start Kelsey, but yeah,
he's the same boat as Laporta.
Yeah.
Cousins, though, I am willing to start as a kind of a fringe QB1, QB2 this week. I think the over/under is high enough. Kirk seemed to kind of forget that he was injured at the end of that drive when he had to just focus on playing the ball. He did a lot of pistol that first week. The second week, they got him moving a little bit more. So I think he's warming up. I don't know if they'll necessarily have the firepower to win this game, but I do think that they'll be able to stay competitive in this one. Bijan, RB1.
Yep.
London, flex, like wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3.
Wide receiver 2, probably, what I lean towards.
Pitts, I'll say give it a shot, but don't if you don't have to. Brennan's going to tell you no.
Yeah.
What about Mooney and McLeod real quick?
Own Mooney. Ray McLeod seems like that, like a B version of Rashid Shaheed type of play. Like, it's just like a big boom play, but Rashid Shaheed's obviously not more developed. But who do you have winning this game?
I'm going to take Chiefs.
I am too.
All right, and folks, you remember how the last few years we get like 2 Monday night games on week 1 and week 2, and then this week they didn't do that to us. It's so cool. We got those international games. Yeah, bullshit here. We got 2 games. One's at like 7:30. The other one's at 8:15. So you can't watch both because there's no red zone channel. Let's talk about the first. Jags at the Bills. 45.5 point over under. Bills are favored by 5. I'm glad we got a second game to watch after this because this might not give it to us.
Yeah, we'll start with the Jag side. Trevor Lawrence is, I don't know, he's got to figure it out. I really don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if it's him. He's not really living up to that height. But ETN, you're starting. I mean, you probably took him as your RB1. He's really not putting up RB1 numbers at the moment. Tanks Bigsby is going to be fully healthy for this game. But he's someone to just handcuff, I guess, if you own ETN at this point. And then the wide receivers, I really like Brian Thomas. I've been a Brian Thomas fan. Christian Kirk, where you at with him?
Long term, I'm really nervous about this game. I've got more confidence in him than anything, just because Evan Ingram might be out. We also know the Bills have linebacker issues. Matt Milano's out for most of the season, so the chance to kind of tear them up is going to be in the middle of the field. Kirk and Ingram usually split that area and do a pretty good job there. So if Ingram's out and it's Strange, who he filled in for Evan Ingram pretty well, second target, second in yards. At the same time, though, Kirk still is pretty damn talented. So I hope he could give you flex-worthy plays, but with no buys right now, I'm sure you could find a option that doesn't make you as queasy. Brian Thomas, though, give him to me all day.
Yeah, he's in your locked or loaded in your lineup from here on out.
Ooh, what about the Bills? Josh Allen, I'm kind of fringe on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm really fringe on the quarterback one back-to-back years. Crazy. James Cook, he's locked in your lineup. He's pretty much secured that role. I wouldn't expect the same touchdown. I think he definitely has touchdown regression in this game. No way he breaks up 2 40-yard runs for the end zone. Who are you starting out of the wide receivers? Are you starting Coleman? Are you starting Curtis Samuel? Are you starting Shakir?
I don't want to have to start any of these fellows. I think Shakir has the highest floor, so I think he's the closest to a wide receiver 3. But if anybody's going to get you even close to a 2-touchdown game or a touchdown and a big break-off play, it's probably going to be Coleman or Curtis Samuel. So I think they're going to be both like deep in dart throws. While like I said, Shakir's probably like a low end wide receiver three. Where you at?
Yeah, I think Shakir's a good flex play for full point PPR. I think if you're really in a pinch, Keon Coleman, like it's a Monday night, it's a Hail Mary kind of a thing. I don't mind it. I think he's gonna get that run. I think last week was just such like outlandish just because the Bills just blew the Dolphins out of the water. So like the game script was
Literally,
just such it was nothing needed. Like Josh Allen finished 11 points. Kincaid, he was starting to get a lot of work before the game got out of hand. So again, he's in your lineup, not worrying too much about it. So
I would say I'm not worried. Maybe I'm just frustrated. Like,
it's frustrated, yeah.
damn. But at the same time, most of these tight ends, outside of maybe Kittle, all of them are kind of
Yeah.
pissing you off. Who's winning?
I got Buffalo.
Yeah, it's hard to take
Uh,
the Jags at this point. They
Jags will be 0-3.
have you seen the standings right now? The Colts, the Titans, and
Yes,
the
it's
Jags are all like top
0-2,
five.
and Texans are going to run away with this division, unfortunately. So it's
We
really
are all top
frustrating.
five. Hey, we're only one game behind division leaders right now. Okay, come on.
True. This is true.
Alrighty, last game on the slate, the second Monday Night Football game. Trouble in Cincinnati, possibly. The Bengals are playing the Washington Commanders. It is a 47 point over under 7.5 point favorites are the Bengals. Quarterbacks here are being started. Easy peasy.
Yeah, you're locked and loaded for both Jaden and Joe Burrow. Running backs for Commanders. I mean, Brian Robinson's in my lineup. I think he's getting a ton of work. He seems to be the guy that they lean on for him and Jaden Daniels, so he's definitely in my lineup. Austin Eckler, I'm not. I mean, like you can own him, but I'm not starting him.
Now, there's a couple plays I was like, oh my gosh, is that Eckler? And then, it ended, and that was really all there was to it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, same page with Brian Robinson. He's been I want to say a surprise, but kind of that's where we were drafting him. But he's
yeah,
doing well enough for this poor offensive line that they have. Terry McLaurin,
yeah.
you got the Stones? You starting him?
No, I'm
Not
benching
even
him.
starting.
I no, I'm out. I'm out. I don't know what's going on there because what Jaden Daniels had like 24 passes completed last week, and how many did Terry have?
Nothing. It's
Like
bad.
two, three? Yeah, it was crazy. Like it's Terry McLaurin is. If you can sell him for the name value, go ahead. But I just don't know if it gets better from here. I think Jaden Daniels has got to figure it out as being quarterback, as a pocket passing quarterback. 'Cause he likes to take it off a little bit. But you starting
Khalil
Zach Ertz?
Shakir. Khalil Shakir or Terry McLaurin?
Khalil Shakir, honestly, I'm not even really debating it.
I'm not either. Ertz, I think you can throw it there.
Yeah, that's about it on the Washington side. Ben Sinnott hasn't really seen the field often, or I don't even think at all, to be honest with you. So
Mm-mm.
that's about it for the Commander side. On the Cincinnati side, um, Zach Moss seems to be still the lead back. I know Chase Brown's starting to get a little bit of work there, but I think Zach Moss just has the RB1 as it sits right now for them.
Yeah, he should get plenty of work. The Commanders are a team they should beat up on. The Bengals have started 0-2 5 of the last 6 years, so I hope we kind of get on pace here. If not, we're going to see them probably not make it in the playoffs. Most teams, when you go 0-3, your chances of making it in are pretty slim, especially in a division with the Steelers. But yeah,
Yeah.
starting Moss. Brown, I want to own him, but I don't want to play him. Jamar Chase, this should be squeaky wheel season.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start him before you took him, so you have no choice. T. Higgins, he's practicing? I thought he practiced today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I thought I saw he was limited practice today.
So if he has another limited practice tomorrow and another limited practice on Saturday, are you starting him?
Oh boy, that's rough because it is the Monday night game and it's the last Monday night game. So your pivot options, like, would you pivot to Mike Gesicki if you have T Higgins lined up and it doesn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Gesicki got a ton of run last week. I don't know if that's just because the Chiefs game plan for something else. I mean, you took T. Higgins in like the fourth, fifth round. You probably have some other options, maybe, but like me personally, I want to see what it looks like on the field, just because like we have seen T. Higgins be activated and then only play like two snaps. So I'm leery with him.
Yeah, between Zach Taylor being the worst and T Higgins' history of this happening, I'm completely same boat. like that, unless you have Yoshivas. If you have Yoshivas, I think that would be a great option. If you check out the practices and you can easily pivot to him, either one of those guys, that would be an awesome scenario. Outside of that, though, set yourself up for no Higgins.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Who do you have winning?
Yeah, it's going to be the Bengals, I think. As much as I'd love to see them not.
Yeah, but I don't know if they cover the 7.5 point spread. That's a lot of points.
And Jaden Daniels is pretty. He's fun to watch out there. He could break one off at any point. I'd love to see him throw a touchdown. We haven't seen a rookie do that yet.
Over under 1.5 passing touchdowns for the rookie quarterbacks this week.
Like collectively?
Yes, collectively 1.5.
I'm gonna go over. I bet Caleb gets his first one against the Colts for sure.
Yep.
And that just leaves one more. Drake May might find his way out there on the field tonight.
Yeah.
Awesome, everybody. We got to get out of here. We can't thank you enough for coming to hang out with us for the part 2 of our week 3 start sits. As always, I am Brian at @too_much_Brian on Twitter. Find me all over here on our YouTube page. Brennen, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me on X at FFAMBMulk, and I'm on the Facebook group page for Fantasy Football Advice Network. So I answer all your dynasty and start sit questions there.
Damn straight. If you don't know what that is, check it out.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com.